I have found myself in another late game situation. And granted, these are when many games are won and lost. So it's a very pivotal situation in this particular game. And as I scan the board, there are a lot of things to be thoughtful of here. I think chiefly is that my opponent has one fewer letters than me, and they have an X. So what I want to quickly do is go over the moves that I am seeing, and I may pause this one or two times just because I want to be as thorough as possible and as short-winded as possible. But I went ahead and turned on the word radar for this. Now, if you use your word radar, you can still use it for the duration of the move. This is a situation where you want to use your word radar. It's right at the end of the game. There are a few other situations, but I think end of the game is when they're best to use. So my chief concern, as I said, is that my opponent has an X. So these are the moves that I've seen so far with the help of the word radar. This one in particular, if I do this, there's a very obvious problem. My opponent's going to put their X right there. And moreover, they do have a U. So they're actually going to go XU. So I can't go there. But I think I have, in this particular situation, the Q can become, I think, a deficit that I will not be able to overcome. So my number one concern is getting rid of this Q. And since there's nowhere to put it, thankfully I have a blank to go with it. So what I've seen so far is, I think, I would do this, which would set up this, and I would do that, except for the fact that my opponent also has an E. So I can't do that. I can't set myself up in this situation. So I'm not going to do that either, because then they're going to put an E there, and they're going to put their X there, and they're going to get off a nice move that will probably win them the game. So since I can't do either one of these moves, and there are no particular areas of concern right now for my opponent's X, and I want to keep it that way, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this Q. And the only spot I'm seeing right now is know your four-letter combos, especially with your bigger letters. I have to use my blank, unfortunately, but I think this is the move I want to do. And then I'm hopeful that my opponent will find somewhere to burn their X that's not going to hurt me, and then I can get off my CEE move over here. And if those two things can happen very quickly, I should be looking good for this game. But I am not out of the woods by any means. But I think this is the play for now, and we will see what my opponent does next. Okay, so my opponent already went. That was pretty fast. And my circumstances haven't really changed. My opponent got rid of their H. So, since I think they're making a little bit of a mistake by not being aggressive enough. So since I know I have this, I think that I need to get rid of my DE, and if they do another small play, we'll just be out of the game and it won't matter anymore. And where can I do this? What if I went here? What would happen? My opponent would... I don't think there's any 5-letter combos with their remaining 5 letters. I wouldn't swear by it, but I see the word Dune. I think DUX and DEX are both acceptable. XE, of course, is not a word. UD is not a word. ED is a word. So I think they would put probably their E here, their N there, and then what else is possible? I'm not too sure. And since I'm not completely sure, I'm not gonna mess with that one. I see the word den, D-E-N. I think that would be probably most likely. I can do the word shed right here. If I do the word shed, I have a way to get out in the next move. Do I have two ways to get out in the next move? Don't think so. But, you know, let's see here. I wouldn't be surprised if they just went ahead and did the word HEX. And if they did HEX, I'm not so sure I could get out, because they would block my move. So that's probably my number one concern right now. That's pretty concerning. Now I could block their HEX potential by doing this, but then do I give myself a way out? Well, is this a word? No. Huh. So this is a tad tricky. I will be gambling if I do it many other ways. So I'm a little stumped. I could also go here. That's 15 points. That's a few more points, and I really don't know what to do here. Now, also see, I have the word decide right here, and this, ooh, this could be a game-winning play right here. That could do it. Actually, I like that a lot. So, what I'm going to do here is get rid of this E. And I think right here would probably be the best place to put it. And, you know, my opponent could hurt me next play, no doubt, but then I can get out of this game. So, this is going to put me at 355. It's going to be a 12-point lead. My opponent can score 16, 19, 20 points, which would put him at 363, and I can win the game. So yeah, I think that this is the way to go. Every situation is different, and you just gotta be very mindful of everything. So I'm just gonna go right here. So we're back, and my opponent did the thing that I was worried about. If I played Shed and did not think this through a little better, I would have lost. But looks like I will get this win. And these late game situations are critical. You have to think about every little component, and you know, if you don't do that, you will easily lose these games over and over again. So bluish, not quite, but blushes. Swap for an E. Let me just make sure. You always make sure, because the first move of the game, yeah. So the first move of the game, you can see if you can use all your letters rather easily by just laying a word out there. I always like to swap my first move of the game, but it's not something you have to rush. So, I think I'll get rid of these three letters. Give me an E. Nice. Oh, the Y. Why the Y? Goodness, I don't like Y's. That's probably going to prevent me from using all my letters, but Bayless is probably a word, but I can't do it. Alright, well, I hope you liked the quick tip video in another late game situation. Hope you liked the video, and thank you for watching.